everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I just wanted to sit and talk a little bit to you guys, just do a little bit of a whispered ramble. Right now it's 2:40 p.m. on Monday. Going to record the NFL Weekly Review later tonight after the Monday game finishes. But before I did that, I just wanted to talk a bit about where I've been the last few days, among some other things. Obviously, I still had videos going up, but I mentioned briefly in one of those videos that I was going to be going to a event for a few days, so I had to pre-record a bunch of videos, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to watch much football for this week's review because of that. But I got home last night around 8 p.m. from the Aftershock Music Festival. This is the shirt I got. Pretty cool looking shirt. This was like my first music festival type of thing I've ever been to. I've been to a ton of concerts over the years, like dozens and dozens of concerts, but I've never been to a festival type of thing before. It was a 4-day festival. We ended up only going 3 of the 4 days because we were kind of feeling a bit under the weather by Sunday, and also there wasn't a ton of bands on Sunday that we were really interested in, or really only one. It didn't seem worth it to wait around all day just to see what band when we'd be getting home super late because of that. But yeah, I went with 2 of my friends who I'm roommates with. We drove down Wednesday night / Thursday early morning. The festival was in Sacramento at this place called Discovery Park. I think it's near the waterfront there in Sacramento. I'm not sure, but 4-day music festival, and it's all like rock, metal, heavier type music in the festival, which I haven't been to many rock concerts before, especially heavy rock concerts. Like that's kind of a majority of what I listen to, but a lot of the concerts I've gone to have been sort of like lighter stuff, more sit-down music. Like my most recent concerts would be like Elton John, Paul Simon, Stevie Nicks, like the more classic rock type music is what I've gone and seen live. Fall Out Boy, but so I didn't really know what to expect, and thankfully for me, my roommates and I were kind of the same mind that we were going to kind of just go later in the days when it was more of the artists that we were interested in, instead of trying to get there when the doors opened and stand around all day in 90+ degree heat listening to music we didn't really care for. So it was kind of nice that we were all on that same page. We stayed in Davis, California, which is like a college town 20 minutes from Sacramento. So we got to walk around the campus a little bit. The Davis campus was pretty nice. They had this nature trail walk thing called the Arboretum. I believe it's called the Arboretum there at UC Davis. And that was really cool. We walked through that one of the mornings before we went in, and there was a ton of like, just little like critters and squirrels and things like that. A bunch of birds, ducks. We saw a heron, and it was interesting because Sacramento is sort of like desert-ish. It's sort of an arid environment, but you had this nice little green space that we got to walk to. That was pretty cool. But the first day, Thursday, we got there around four or so. And there had been some complaints. Thankfully, it was never really an issue for us until Saturday night, but there were a bunch of complaints on social media, especially the first day, about the tram situation, because they did not have parking there on site. So if you were taking your car, you had to drive to this park and ride spot, park, and then get onto these buses that took you to the event. And I guess the first day, they did not have enough buses, and people were waiting in line for 2-3 hours or so. But it seems that they ended up hiring more buses, and by the time we got there a little bit later in the day, we hopped right on the bus. When we left, we hopped right on and left. It was no issue at all for us, and it was pretty much that way Friday and Saturday as well, with the exception of Saturday night, which was absolutely insane. The bus was packed on the way home, and we had to wait for multiple buses to fill up and leave before we could get on. But Thursday night we got there, and Stone Temple Pilots were playing when we got there, and we kind of just walked around and got our bearings. And the place it was, there was so much dust in the air. As you were walking up on the event, you could just see this cloud of dust in the air. So I've been doing nothing but breathing dust for the last 3 days, so my throat's very kind of scratchy and inflamed. I've just had a lot of phlegm and stuff trying to get this dust out of my lungs. So we didn't really hear Stone Temple Pilots that much, because we were kind of walking around. We grabbed some food, things like that. But the first real act we saw on Thursday was Evanescence. Evanescence was incredible. Amy Lee sounded just as good live as she sounds on studio albums. I'm not a huge Evanescence fan, so there's really only 2-3 songs that they were playing that I really knew, but even then that was a great introduction to the festival. There's really good energy there. And then the act we were there to see, Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie came on. I'm a really big Rob Zombie fan. And he was awesome. Rob Zombie, he was doing all these sorts of karate moves on stage, and doing all this sort of a lot of showmanship. And of course all the visuals with Rob Zombie are always extremely interesting. The screen behind him would have vintage, old school looking, sort of creepy, occulty imagery. It was really, really nice. And the music, I think he ended Encore with Dracula. But the only song I was kind of, the song he didn't do that I wished he would have done, which is my favorite Rob Zombie song, is The Lords of Salem. That's probably my favorite Rob Zombie song. He didn't do it. I understand why. It's a bit of a longer song, and he only had a 1 hour time slot, I believe. But even then, he did really good. American Witch would have been cool too. He didn't do that, but he did a lot of the hits, a lot of the songs you would expect to hear from Rob Zombie. So that was my Thursday. Friday, we got there probably around 4 or 5, and for reference, the doors open at noon. I think, I'm pretty sure the doors open at noon, and they close close at 10. So we were there 5-6 hours every single day. We just weren't there from the beginning. Got an orange soda. Friday, we got there right as Motionless in White was starting. My roommate, she really wanted to see Motionless in White, so we got there for them. I didn't really care that much about them. So while they were at Motionless in White, I went and got this shirt. The merch line took longer than the Motionless in White set did. It took me probably an hour and a half to get through the line and actually be able to go up and buy the shirt. Thankfully, the merch was like under a covered tent, so I wasn't just standing in the sun, because Friday was the hottest day of all the days. It was like 95 degrees, 93 degrees, but when you're surrounded by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people and there's no tree cover, it's just an open field and the sun's beating down on you, it feels a lot hotter than what they say it is. But the merch tent was pretty close to the Motionless in White stage, so I actually was able to hear them pretty well, and they did a pretty good set. Like I said, even though I don't, I'm not a fan of them. And then we went from Motionless in White, we went and we saw Falling in Reverse. Me being an emo kid, a scene kid in high school. I was in high school from 2009 to 2012. Right, so, during that era, I was listening to things like Asking Alexandria, Bring Me the Horizon, Bullet for My Valentine, all that stuff. Like, that was the music I was listening to. Escape the Fate was a really big band for me. I grew up listening to a lot of Escape the Fate. And obviously Ronnie Radke, after all of his issues, his legal issues, Escape the Fate cut ties with him, and he started Falling in Reverse. I've never liked Falling in Reverse as much as I liked Escape the Fate, but they have some good songs, and they did all of them. And Ronnie Radke, he put on a good show. He would engage with the audience quite a bit. Of course, they played all the songs you would expect. I'm Not a Vampire, The Drug in Me Is You, things like that. I was wondering if they were gonna do any Escape the Fate songs. I was hoping he would do Situations, but he didn't. There might have been a legal issue there or something. And then Lamb of God, we watched. We were pretty kind of hot and just wanted to chill for a bit after Falling in Reverse, because for Falling in Reverse we were pretty close up to the stage, so we were super packed in. There was a lot of movement around us, so we wanted to just chill a bit, and we knew Lamb of God would be absolutely insane, so we just sat on the grass and watched Lamb of God on a screen over the speaker, because we're not really, none of us, me and my roommates, we're not mosh pit people. We're not gonna get in and mosh, and Lamb of God they had a huge mosh pit, and supposedly some people actually got sort of hurt pretty bad in the mosh pit at Lamb of God, so hopefully they're okay, but not really our thing. So we sat on the grass watching Lamb of God on the screen while they were setting up the stage for Kiss, because we wanted to see Kiss, so we stayed on that stage so we'd have a good spot for Kiss. Lamb of God was really good though, super heavy. They ended with Redneck, of course, probably my favorite Lamb of God song, probably their most popular song, I have to imagine. And then Kiss came on, and I didn't realize, I thought they were just, headlining one of the days here, but I didn't realize that their Friday headlining was actually part of their End of the Road tour. So right now Kiss is doing a farewell tour, the last tour they'll ever do. But I have to tell you, Kiss, Gene and Paul are in their 70s. I don't know how old Tommy Thayer or the drummer is. It's not Peter Criss, I don't know who the drummer is, but I don't know how old they are. They might be a little bit younger, but I'll tell you, for like a bunch of old guys, Kiss, in my opinion, put on the best show that I saw over the entire 3 days we went to the festival. The showmanship was off the charts. Their music wasn't the best. I mean, they were really good. They sounded good live, and I don't think they were lip syncing, but the showmanship was amazing. They had sparklers going, they had huge pyrotechnics, they had, Gene going up on a lift to do God of Thunder. At one point, Paul Stanley, like a 72-year-old Paul Stanley, gets on this, rope contraption and, swings out into the audience. They were an amazing, amazing show, Kiss. Kiss, I'm not, a huge Kiss fan. They're a little bit before my time, but, I've listened to their music. I respect them and what they've done for rock and metal music as a whole, and they put on an amazing, amazing show. Definitely, my roommate even made some comments he's like, you don't see shows like that anymore. Bands aren't doing that sort of showmanship now, and that was one thing with Kiss, is it was really all about the experience, experiencing Kiss. It wasn't totally about the music. It was, it was awesome. And then Saturday we went super late in the day, because Saturday, the main reason we really wanted to come to this was to see My Chemical Romance. They were the headliner Saturday. We got there and Youngblood was playing. I'd never really heard Youngblood before, but he was really good. He had really good energy on stage, a really good stage presence. He won me over for sure. I'll need to go and give some of his music a listen. And then Hailstorm, she was really good. I'd never heard of Hailstorm before either, but again, her and Youngblood both won me over. But then the first show we really got into for this day was A Day to Remember. A Day to Remember was insane. They opened up with Downfall of Us All, of course. That's their big song, and we were probably, 35, 40 rows from the stage, and the pit opened up right in front of us. And I told you, that's not really our thing. It opened up right in front of us, and it went hard. People were going crazy in that pit, throwing themselves into the walls and stuff. Thankfully, I'm a pretty big guy. I'm fairly strong, so I can, kind of get shoved into, and I'm not gonna get knocked down or anything. But after a few songs, we're like, yeah, let's scoot back a bit. So we scooted back and just kind of sat a little bit further in the back watching A Day to Remember, because none of us are huge A Day to Remember fans, so we're fine with being a little further back. But they were really good. They had a great energy, and at one point the lead singer was like, now for legal reasons we have to tell you this is dangerous and you shouldn't do it, but we think it'd be cool if one of you started crowd surfing, and then somebody surfed on the crowd surfer. And I didn't see anybody doing it, but I'm pretty sure somebody did, because I saw some social media comments about it. Going back to the first day, that was one thing. Rob Zombie kept berating the security guards. The security guards were trying to stop people from getting onto other people's shoulders and stuff like that. And Rob Zombie was berating them. He's like, it's a rock concert. And then he was literally speaking to the audience, and Rob Zombie was like, they can't get to you, don't listen to them, they can't do anything to stop you. Just completely undermining the security. That's pretty funny. Anyway, back to Saturday. After A Day to Remember was Papa Roach. In my mind, Papa Roach is sort of like a meme, right? I never have taken Papa Roach super seriously. And I was actually kind of surprised that so many people were super into Papa Roach. But I guess he's from Sacramento, so that might have something to do with it. They're introducing him, saying he's like a hometown band, things like that, which I didn't know that. But yeah, I thought that was really cool. He was better than I expected, and you could tell he was like getting really emotional. Playing some of the songs, hearing the crowd reaction. Like, there's a point where he was just kind of like staring out into the crowd after a song, and you could tell he was like very emotional about it, and it was actually really cool to see that. He put on a really good show. I didn't have any expectations for Papa Roach, but I was really into it, and he did a great job. And then Saturday, the end of Saturday, the headliner, the main reason we went there, My Chemical Romance. The Black Parade was the very first album I ever purchased. I've listened to probably every MCR song. They're one of my favorite bands of all time. Super formative for me. Probably their music, very important to me. So we made sure we got a good spot for My Chem. We were probably 30 rows back from the front, and we're like, all right, we're not moving. It doesn't matter what happens. And yeah, man, it was like a religious experience for me. I think I cried 3 times at My Chemical Romance. I cried during I'm Not Okay. I cried during Famous Last Words. And I definitely cried during Black Parade. It was just like, man, like my entire life. Ever since I first started listening to them, I'd always wanted to go see My Chemical Romance live. And then they broke up. And I was like, man, I'm never going to be able to see one of my favorite bands perform live. And they got back together. And then COVID happened. And so I was just like, man, am I ever going to see them? And so like finally being there, and like the whole weekend, the whole time we were there, I had this like nagging thought in the back of my head that's like, what if they cancel? What if they got sick? What if this? What if that? And I was like waiting for the other shoe to drop basically. But then when they stepped onto stage and like they were actually there, and they started performing, I was like, okay, like childhood dream accomplished. Like, it was amazing. And again, the pit opened up right in front of us, and it was a huge pit for My Chemical Romance, which kind of shocked me because when I think of My Chemical Romance, I don't really think of mosh pit music. And you could tell, like, during some of the songs, the people in the mosh pit were like even sort of confused. Like, they were kind of like half-assing it at certain points because they're like, I can't do anything to this song. And it's like, yeah, it's My Chemical Romance. You're meant to listen to it and cry and be depressed. You're not meant to throw yourself around. But like I said in that point, like I was like, I'm not moving because that was loud. I was like, I'm not moving because the whole reason I came to this concert was to see My Chemical Romance. So I was held steadfast in my spot. People bumped into me a few times, but I just kind of like squared myself off and dug my feet in and became immovable. So yeah, that's where I've been this last week. I just got home, like I said, Sunday at 8 p.m. or so. Today's Monday. Like I said, there was just really nobody that appealed to us on Sunday. The only band that any of us really wanted to see was Bring Me the Horizon, but Bring Me the Horizon wasn't going to end until like 7 p.m. and then we had to drive 9 hours to get back home. So, and we checked out of our hotel 11 a.m. Sunday, so it's like, do we wait around for 6 hours to go and then don't be able to go home until 8 p.m. and then we'd be getting home at like 5 or 6 a.m. Monday at the earliest, and it just was like, we can go see Bring Me the Horizon by themselves another time. Like, they'll go on a tour. They're still a young band making music. Like, it's fine. So we elected not to go on Sunday, but yeah. So I just wanted to talk a bit about that and my experience. I had a great time. Like I said, my first real music festival, not just a single concert. I wasn't sure what to expect. I was slightly intimidated about the whole thing, but I had an amazing time. And like I said, one more look at this shirt. Fantastic shirt. It has all the bands on the back too, but I'm not really going to be able to show you guys that. Yeah, so I just wanted to do this little whispered ramble talking video. I know you guys have said that you like that and want some more of this just talking to the camera sort of content. I got a ton of positive comments and feedback on my Civilization 6 video, which sucks because I feel like people didn't make it to the end of that video because the game like froze and crashed at the end, and I need to figure out why it did that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again, but I'd love to do more of it. You guys responded really well to it, but I just need to figure out what issues the game was having. I might have to do Civ 5 instead of Civ 6, I don't know, but yeah. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day, and until next time guys, bye bye.